Dear participants, welcome to ECONDER International Economics, Business and Social Sciences Congress. Our session today is starting now. Our first speaker is James Edin, but I think he has some connection problems. Our second presentation is Van Mai T, Prof.Dr. I think she is from Taiwan or Thailand.
Nice to meet you, Professor. Actually, I come from Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Yeah,
welcome.
Yeah. Near Thailand.
Vietnam.
Yes.
So time is yours. You can start, please. I am giving permission to share screen. Now you can start. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sensei. So I'm starting to sharing my screen. Can you see that?
We see. We see. It is okay.
Okay. So welcome all ladies and gentlemen. And today is my honor to be here to present our research. And the topic is about the site clearance and resettlement in historical sites for sustainable tourism development, a perspective of affected residents in Hue City, Vietnam. And the first, after I talk about the results of our research, I want to give you some general information about Hue City and my research area. For the Hue City, you can see it's a city in central Vietnam, and it's the former imperial capital. The city is relatively small. Its population is just about 350,000 people. And an important cultural, political, economic, and educational center of Vietnam. Of course, it's an attractive tourist and one of the most interesting historical places of Vietnam. You can see the detail in the map. The first is the map about the Vietnam, and here is the city with the map. It's the pink star, and Hue City belongs in the Thừa Thiên Huế province. So you can see the map of Thừa Thiên Huế province, and the last is the map in detail of the Hue City. And for the information of affected residents, because in our research we want to make a study about the people who affected from the relocation policy in the government. So I would like to share you some information about affected residents. The resident is belong in the Thương Thanh Huế resident, and they live along with the system of Citadel or walk more than 10 kilometers long in the territory of the inner city ward of the Hue City. If you can see, it's about they live in the Red Square, and now there are about 2,080 households with more than 10,000 people living. The main settlement time of people in this area is from 31 to 50 years. So they live in the long time in these areas. And the household living here is mainly poor and unskilled workers with the highest percentage. You can see the picture about their house. It's just a temporary house, and they are really easy to vulnerable with the damage of the weather or some else. And the people living in the area are being cleared, so their lives are, like I said, temporary, and they cannot build new house. So there are also no roads. So the only way to entrance to the village or entrance to their house are the ladders that go up over the citadel. You can see the circle red is the ladder, and they use that to go in the village. So in this area, there is no sewerage system, and so domestic waste and also the water from the the people living in here are discharged into the canal that surround the Hue Citadel. From that, the impact of these people on the Hue Citadel is compared into the natural environment and also in the impact on the originality of Hue Citadel. For the natural environment, they live here, so they might increase the dust, smoke, and noise in this area. And also in the monument area, the noise level is particularly low, but the activities of the local people have caused noise to the monument environment. For the impact on the originality in Hue City, that might increase upon the integrity of the monument, upon the inherent function of the monument, and also on the landscape. So that makes the bad influence on the rampart structure. So because of that, the People's Committee of 13th Hue Province is the local government, has carried out the plan to relocate the population and make the preserve and restore the relic area. That is the that policy that increased that made in the December of 2018. And this project had two phases. The first is from the 2019 to 2021 with around 3,000 households were relocated, with the cost is about $82 million. And the second phase from 2022 to 2025 with about 1,203 households were relocated, and the cost reached to $39 million. So how the status of the implementation of site clearance and resettlement? Where city people committee will conduct land acquisition in 4 was for the first phase, and you can see the relocation is the red star in the my slides. In the red stars, 4 red star is the relocation of the forward to in the policy of site clearance and resettlement. And the total land area is about 16.5 hectares. Relocated households is more than 500 households. That households will be resettled in the technical infrastructure planning area or North Hương residential area. You can see it's the location in the yellow stars, and it's kind that is not in the inner of Hue Citadel. It's kind of far the center of it. So regarding the framework to support population relocation and site clearance, including the following contents, that the government will have them the compensation, support for land, properties attached to land, support for the agricultural land recovery of households, and the rent support for temporary housing, and for support moving costs when the state recovers land, also to build the concentrated resettlement areas, and when they live in the new life, the livelihood support, such as the vocational training, job creation, and also life stabilization. And after the relocation is complete, the locality will allocate funds to renovate the relic site and return the monument to its original state, and at the same time carry out restoration, embellishment, and preservation of relics in the Hue Citadel area. That will be the experiential tourism introduction to attract tourists in the sustainable ways. And the current status of the relocation area from January 2019, 171 households were lost to receive the resettlement land. After that, in the February 2020, people dismantled their house and hand over the land to the government. You can see it's the picture about this process. And up to now, just only 4 households have not carried out dismantling, because they have some personal reasons and also having some problem in resettlement of compensation land, so they have not been able to relocate. And currently, people are temporarily staying in the Citadel area while waiting for the completion of house construction in the resettlement area. In this area, many houses have basically finished building the raw part and just waiting to be painted and finished interior. You can see in the next pictures. And about that, the people who affected about this policy had some assessing on the relocation policy. And some factor affecting people concept is about the work of notification and propaganda about the relocation, the clearance of the land by the government to the people. And people's, the second is about the people's psychology and understanding about the population relocation policy. The third is about the level of compensation and resettlement assistance. After that, the system of technical infrastructure in the resettlement area. And then is the living environment in the resettlement area and also the policy to encourage affected residents. And I have to say that all of them had success to make the people agree with this policy. And the result that 100% of interviewees agree with the relocation policy and accept to move to the resettlement place to start the new stage of their life. And the resident has some, and affected residents has some accept to relocation policy in the area. And the first is I want to talk about the achievement of the population relocation policy. The first is helping the affected resident have a new life. As you see, the current life of them is the poor and have no stable job, but the new life is maybe more potential. And the long-term stability and also development in the resettlement area. They have more opportunity to have the new and stable job. And the second achievement is the returning of the entire ground around the relic area, the Citadel, and implementation, restoration, and conservation methods. So this contributes to the beauty around the relic site and stable living environment, and also especially attracting tourists. However, this policy also assists population relocation. The first is about regarding the construction of house in new place. The policy of building model house with the high cost design is far beyond the current ability to people. You know, in the resettlement area, people have to follow the rule to build the house, the new house. Is the house is based on the model house provided from the government. So more of them is really expensive, and the people, because they're the poor people, so it's really difficult for them to build this. And the second, in terms of the land allocation, it is quite a principle, so cannot be more flexible to meet the needs of the affected residents. And also the issue of the land compensation settlement still exists. And from that, our research has some proposal solutions. The first is about local authority needs to have plans to investigate the circumstance and problem of the affected resident to create fairness and transparency for all households in the clearing area. The second is need to be flexible in the policy of locating land plots and building model house. The third is accelerate the plans to complete the resettlement area before and at the same time as dismantling and relocation. As you know, the people who agreed to move from the old house have to be live in the renting house to wait for the how the new house them finish complete. So in this process, there are more problems of temporary accommodation will arise many difficulties for them. So it is all our research, and thank you for your listening. And I want to share you a beautiful picture of our Huế Citadel after the policy is finished. Thank you for your listening.
We thank you, Professor. Just a minute. We thank you, Professor. Of course, construction is very important because people have right to live in beautiful cities and conditions. So it is very important.
Yes.
Is there any question to Professor Van Mai? I think there is no problem. And also, Professor Chemsedin, your time is very well.
Yes.
Our presentation is ended and you connected. It is very well timing. Thank you very much, Professor Van Mai. Now, presentation time is Professor Chemsedin Bokademi.
Yes.
From Algeria, I think. Now,
Yes.
I give permission to share screen, Professor. You can share your screen.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I'm sorry for being late. I had a technical problem. My topic for today is about, is it okay for you?
Yes, we can see your PowerPoint.
Okay. My topic for today is about effect of globalization in the growth of private healthcare sector in Algeria. Like we know, globalization is the integration of all market countries, of all countries in one market governed by United States of America since 1990. The problem or the issue of our topic is how to evaluate private sector in this time. So our case presented the case factors of success mastered by a private clinic, which is considered as a leader in Algeria territory. Its name is Ryan Healthcare. The most case factors of success are as follow: the home medical assistance, medical evacuation by land or by air. It means the use of special plane. The quality of medical and paramedical treatment is required from international standards. The medical and paramedical staff are composed by highly qualified health professional. The clinic uses the best equipment in the medical equipment market. Obtaining accreditation number 2732 from the National Agency for Small and Medium Companies Development for ISO certification. It means international standardization organization. We have a creating of 3 appendices near to Algiers. We have also the integration of digital tool as setting up a website, application mobile, and integration management software package. It means to make the task of clinic more easy. For example, we have human resource management and customer management, customer relationship management. Besides, we have the increase of capital. This clinic was created since 206. It means before 15 years ago, with $100 American, and now, or in 2016, the capital of this private clinic was 370,370. So the evolution of more than 400 evolution more than 4,090 100%. Besides, we have the clinics is open 7 days a week and 20 hours a day. The creation of employment, we have by starting in 206 until 2018, we have from 12 number of staff until 228, with evolution of 48.05% recently. Besides, when we talk about limits of this sector, we must say that the purchase power of Algerian people is very low, like the table shows. So, firstly, we have Switzerland and Norway. They have an average income per month more than 700 American dollar. Then we find Turkey in the rank 64 with more than $800. For Algeria, it is in 106 position with 330.8 American dollar. So the implication of our study is the use of 5/4 of Porter. Porter, he is a professor in Harvard University. He suggests for evaluation of any companies of any sector, the use of the following point or factors as customer power, supplier power, threat of substitution, threat of new entry, and the role of state, and like we see here, the competitive rivalry of sector. So the implication of this framework in our study, it means in the healthcare private clinic, we find customer power is very low because we have more than 3 billion people in Algiers. So their power of pricing is very low. Supplier power is very low also because we have several equipment medical market as China, as Germany. About the threat of new entry, it's very pressing because we have the existence of 343 private clinics in Algeria. The threat of substitution, it's very high. Why? Because we find the public sector which offer some services for free, like maternity and emergencies. For competitive rivalry, it's very competitive because we have a public sector than other private clinic sector, private clinic companies. The role of the state is a positive role because the globalization give opportunity in the creation for private sector. So the conclusion and the recommendation for our study, the advent of globalization before 2 decades ago, it means in 1990, has contributed in the creation of competitiveness in the economic sector. Actually, Algeria has 343 private clinic. In short, private sector is a real value added in economy of countries. Thank you for your attention.
We thank you, Professor Chambok Academy. Of course, Polter competition analysis very important in competition literature. It's very beneficial research for us. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Is there any question to Professor James Edin? Is there any question? I think there is no question, I think. And Mr. Raul Chan and Nir and also Nir Rashporet, are they here? I see they are not here. So Mr. Ruida is here, I think. Okay. Mr. Professor Ruida. Professor Ruida.
Sure, sir, I'm here.
Hello.
Hello.
If you want, please, your time is coming. Please present your research. Time is
Sure,
yours.
sir. Sure, sir. Just a moment. I'm sharing the screen.
Yes, you can do it now.
Now we can see it's okay.
Sir, is my screen visible properly?
Yes, we can see easily. It is very well.
I'm Ruwaida Mushtaq from University of Kashmir, Department of Geography and Regional Development. My proposed research presentation is evaluation and analysis of pear area and production of temperate pear cultivation in Western Himalayan region of Kashmir Valley. As far as introduction is concerned, horticulture plays a crucial role in Jammu and Kashmir economy, which is not only important from the viewpoint of potential income generating activities, but also contributes to the GDP of the Jammu and Kashmir economy. Pear is a horticulture crop in temperate region of Kashmir Valley, which provides different value-added products and ensures sustainable development of the region. The high production of pear crop in Kashmir Valley is due to its favorable agroclimatic conditions and topography of the region. Horticulture contributes to the Jammu and Kashmir economy, which depicts increasing trend of horticulture crops in Jammu and Kashmir and has shown a tremendous growth with 11,000 metric tons of production in 1950 to 26 lakh metric tons of production in 2020. As is mentioned in Kashmir Observer, Horticultural Policy for Jammu and Kashmir 2020. Horticulture generates livelihood opportunities for marginal farmers and other value chain participants and has great potential to contribute sustainable development goals, which led to sustainable development of the region. Horticulture contributes in poverty elevation, nutritional security that plays an important role in contributing economic and ecological development, which sustains agro-based industries and generates livelihood opportunities. Therefore, conducting a research study not only important from viewpoint of sustainable livelihood, but also contributes to the GDP of the Jammu and Kashmir economy. This is my main objective, which I want to undergo the research study. The present study has been obtained from secondary source of the data, which aims to explain trend of area, production and productivity of pear cultivation in Kashmir Valley from 2004 to 2018 for a period of 14 years. Materials and methods. What methodology I have to undergo? The methodology which I have to adopted from secondary source collected from Directorate of Horticulture, Jammu and Kashmir, Economic Survey 2018-19, Statistical Digest and Food and Agriculture Organization reports to analyze the area, production and productivity of pear crops from 2014-18. Compound annual growth rate was used by utilizing the time series available between 2014 to 18. Pair-wise area crop in hectares, Production and productivity of pear crop in metric tons for a time period of 14 years from 2004 to 2018 can be evaluated by measuring growth in area, production and productivity of pear crop in Kashmir Valley. The compound annual growth rates of area under pear, production and productivity of pear are computing using the exponential growth function. The formula of function used is y is equal to AB raised power t, where y is equal to dependent variable for which growth rate is estimated, A is intercept, B is regression coefficient, T is time variable, and E is error term. Since the model being the multiplicative, the function was transformed into additive model by simple logarithmic transformation as below. Log y is equal log A plus T log B. The percent compound growth rate was derived using the following formula. CAGR is equal anti-log of B minus 1 into 100. Growth rate is indicated by the value and the sign of the B coefficient. If the coefficient is statistically significant positive, then growth of the estimated parameters over the year is positive or accelerating. If the value of B coefficient is negative, it indicates that growth is negative or decelerating during the reference period. It estimates trend level and magnitude of change of pear crop in the data series from 2004 to 2018. Study area is Kashmir Valley. As we know, Kashmir Valley is located 33 degree 25 minutes to 34 degree 30 minutes north latitude and 73 degree 55 minutes east to 75 degree 35 degree east in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, India. Horticulture sector plays a significant role to Jammu and Kashmir economy and is a major source of sustainable livelihood. The tremendous potential of Jammu and Kashmir in horticulture due to its agroclimatic conditions, making it a major export industry. This is the compound annual growth rate, which I already explained above. What is the main aim of the compound growth rate, which estimates the growth rate, which explains area of pear, which is 2.65%, 2.65%. Production of pear is 6.40%. Productivity of pear 0.85%. That means production in area is increasing, which shows an increasing growth rate. Here is a trends in area under pear in Kashmir Valley from 2004 to 2018 in hectares, which shows that this is a regression equation. Y is equal to ax plus b, and r square is equal to 0.892. That means 89.2%, which explain change because of the time variable. And same is in the case of the production of the pear, which is also increasing. And this is the trend of the productivity, which shows a decelerating trend. Pear cultivation in Western Himalayan region of Kashmir Valley has witnessed a tremendous growth during the last 1 decade in Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. In Kashmir Valley, the area of pear cultivation has increased from 4270 hectares in 2004 to 2005 to 6164 hectares in 2017 to 18. The Percival of table reveals that area of cultivation under pear has annual compound growth rate of 2.65% from 2004 to 2018, showing tremendous growth of pear area. The production of pear crop has also increased from 22,125 metric tons in 2004-2005 to 50,975 metric tons in 2017 to 2018. Table 1, which I already explained above, which I already shown above, which indicates annual compound growth rate of production of pear cultivation is 6.14%. The growth in production of pear is due to expansion under area pear cultivation rather than productivity. The productivity shows signs of decreasing trend from 5.1 metric tons in 2004-2005 to 4.8 metric tons in 2017 to 18. The productivity of pear cultivation has an annual compound growth rate of 0.85%, which depicts in table 1 and shows signs of stagnation of the pear yield. The remarkable growth of pear production in Kashmir Valley is due to introduction of high density plant varieties of pear that boosts production of pear crop in Western Himalayan region of Kashmir Valley, which is mentioned in high density plantation of horticultural crops, Greater Kashmir 2021. There has been large-scale conversion of agriculture to horticulture land in Kashmir Valley due to high economic returns in horticulture, but at all, the yield of pear crop in Kashmir Valley has seen decreasing trend, which is correlated with unfavorable climatic conditions and erratic rainfall patterns. Low yield of pear crop in Kashmir Valley is due to short shelf life, especially that of the Buggosh variety of pear crop. Inadequate agriculture practices, inefficient pre-harvest and post-harvest strategies, lack of awareness in technology in horticulture are reasons responsible for low yield of horticulture crops in Kashmir Valley. This is the conclusion. Pear cultivation in Western Himalayan region of Kashmir region has witnessed positive growth, both in terms of area and production of pear crop during the last 1 decade. Yield of pear crop shows decelerating trend due to unfavorable climate conditions, lack of pre-harvest and post-harvest techniques. Horticulture supply chain management and human resource development is required at both pre-harvest and post-harvest strategies, which should be addressed simultaneously. Supply chain management and collaborations improve productivity and efficiency of crops, which plays an important role for achieving sustainable livelihood and agriculture. Thank you.
We thank you, Professor. Of course, during the COVID-19 pandemic process, agriculture sector and vegetables, fruits, and production of them is getting importance in this period. Thank you very much. Is there any question to Professor Ruida? Is there any question? I see that it is there is no question. We thank you, Professor Ruida. Also,
thank you, sir.
Of course, we have apples, pears, and other fruits. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now time is for Mr. Rahul Chan and Nir rush for it, but I see that they are not here. Are they here? No, they are not here. And Birar Ahmet, Mr. Birar Ahmet. Mr. Birar Ahmet is here. Professor Birar Ahmet. Professor Birar Ahmet. Can you hear? Can you hear me? Professor Birar Ahmet, can you hear me? I think he has some connection problems. He can have. Now Birar Ahmet. After Birar Ahmet, we can, I think, Fazıl Rabi. Professor Fazıl Rabi, I think, has video now because of his health problems. He sent us his presentation video. Mr. Gerard, is video ready? Okay. Now we are watching a video of Professor Fazıl Rabi. Professor Birar Ahmet, I hope that you will be ready for your presentation. Okay, we can watch it.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everybody. This is Fazıl Rabi from Guangzhou University, China. My research topic is about the impact of COVID-19 on the educational achievement of Pakistani high school students. We will start from introduction. COVID-19 has a pervasive effect in every field, with primary significance in the health, economy, education, and financial industry. When the coronavirus was declared a pandemic in March 2020, it has had tremendous impact on the lives of so many people worldwide. Then, every nation is deeply concerned with stopping the spread of the coronavirus and reducing its effect on the people. Pakistani government also declared that all schools and colleges would be closed the following day indefinitely. Many public and private school students finish the academic year in 2020 in December without taking their end of terms exams due to examinations administered in three separate terms. The actual conceptual framework of our research is the impact of COVID-19, especially the STEAM subjects on the student academic achievement. So basically, we are going to study that what are the impact on the student academic achievement, especially the science, technology, engineering, mathematics subjects on the high school level. The method we actually applied. So we basically presented a system of conducted interviews. The interviews begin with 10 semi-structured questions. Professional of mathematics education check entries to assess the accuracy of the statement, and the two professional in mathematics to clarify. All professionals were in consensus on the first 7 items on the list. Finally, 3 differences between professionals were deleted from the final system of procedure. The design of question was ultimately improved with the help of one teacher, who found that questions were asked for clarification, and the system of questions were adjusted. As constructive feedback was taken into account, and no additional item was deleted from the final question. The smartphone interviews were conducted in response to a common desire for self-isolation and social distance. The interviews questions were completed and recorded for an average of 20 minutes with the help of an Android application available in the Google Play Store and can quickly be downloaded. Meaningful study and transcription and analysis of relevant quantitative data were investigated to obtain their essential aspects and concerns. One other party did a full transcript and encryption to prevent bias. The facts were reconciled and consistent. The participants were asked to verify that the recordings were of their own opinions. Another way this was to enhance the precision and validity of the results was to help other researchers realize their reliability. Actually, now we are discussing the result section. According to the results of a phone interview with mathematics and science teacher, on board examination candidate, and grade 10 school student, current performance will likely decrease in this year exams. It is most possibly because students will have less time to contact their teacher about issues that arise during their private time. When asked how science subject would be affected by the COVID-19, the teacher complained of increased communication time spent on schoolwork. According to the head of natural sciences, applicants will be influenced by how they do on school application and behavior tests during the evaluation. Now, discuss the conclusion and recommendation. It appears from this research that COVID-19 has the potential to impact the expansion of educational services in Pakistan. There is still hope that all school children will profit from this step of the Ministry of Education as the country's future lies in the next generation education. Thank you.
We thank to Professor. And now I see that Professor Ibrahim Nandon Yakubu is here. Professor Yakubu. Professor Yakubu. Professor Yakubu.
Sorry, please, I have problem with my slides. I am correcting it now. So if the next present,
is there any?
The person can present. I'm having problem with that.
So while waiting we can get other presentations. For example, Mr. Professor Bilal Ahmed or another presenters are here. Professor Raul Chan or Nir Rashporit are here. All not. Dilban Tahir, Marak Bozama, Shazia Gur, Rupna Altaf, Cerani, Mr. Cerani, are they here? Or Bilal Ahmed, Samira Khan, Shazia Manzur. Bilal Ahmed, are you ready? Or Adebo Farooq, are you ready? Or another presenters? So we will wait, I think. How much time do you need, Professor Ibrahim Nando? Ibrahim Nandon Yakubu, how much time do you need?
Sorry, please, I'm currently working on my slide because of the time allocated to me on the conference program. I was supposed to present.
We can just listen to your presentation. The PowerPoints are not needed.
The PowerPoints are not needed.
Okay.
Okay, and I can make my presentation now.
Okay, thank you. Time is yours, Professor.
Okay, because my PowerPoints are not ready yet, but I can still go ahead with my presentation.
Okay.
Yes, so my title is on financial development and capital structure. Sorry, I have not introduced myself. My name is Ibrahim Nandam Yakubu. I'm a PhD candidate in the Department of Banking and Finance in Ankara Yildirim Beyazıt University. And my topic is financial development and capital structure decisions of firms in Ghana. As we know, capital structure refers to the composition of firms' capital obtained from different sources, such as retained earnings, debt, and equity. The selection of a desirable capital structure is a critical decision for finance managers and imperative for maximizing shareholders' wealth. It is also imperative in maximizing shareholders' wealth. It may also influence the market value of firms. That is when firms they have to take into consideration when maximizing the market share, they have to take into consideration the capital structure. So given the recent improvements in the operations of exchanges and the financial sector in general, the issue of firms' financing choice has received much attention. The factors motivating firms' decisions to employ a certain type of finance has been extensively debated in the corporate finance literature. Nevertheless, identifying the key factors influencing capital structure remains a challenge for firms, even for academic researchers, hence presenting in an ample space for more empirical research on the drivers of capital structure. This study aims to examine how the development of the financial sector affects firms' capital structure in Ghana. While numerous studies have analyzed this in other contexts, that is in developed countries, studies in Ghana are still unexplored, hence needing more research efforts. In addition to some few studies which have been done on capital structure, for example, Amidu 2007 and Abel 2008, as well as Yakub 2012, and Yakubu itself 2020. These are some of the studies which have been done on capital structure determinants in Ghana. This paper contributes or adds to these studies and contributes a lot to this capital structure determinants in Ghana. Firstly, our main contribution is that the researcher is not aware, I am not aware of any of study examining the effect of financial development on firms' capital structure decisions, which is the main goal of this presentation. Therefore, this study presents a pioneering attempt in this context. The second contribution of the paper is that apart from firm level factors, the study included the level of economic activity as an additional determinant of leverage, which is virtually ignored in capital structure studies. And finally, we employ the generalized method of moments estimation technique to address the issue of indigeneity problem. So we look at the literature review. In the literature, capital structure studies have been dwelled on the Modigliani and Miller and the Pecking order theory. As for the Modigliani and Miller, it possesses so many assumptions, it has so many assumptions underlying capital structure. So that, first of all, we look at the Modigliani and Miller presumptions. As posited, the Modigliani and Miller posit an irrelevant capital structure hypothesis, which set pace for discussions in the capital structure literature. The theory assumes a perfect capital market for trading securities and easy access to information by both insiders and outsiders. It also assumes zero transaction cost and no taxes or bankruptcy costs. And both individuals as firms can borrow equal interest rate. Under this theory, firms do not have an optimal debt to equity ratio, and shareholders' value is not tied to capital structure. And the critique of this theory is that there is no world without taxation. That is, we cannot have a zero taxation as posited by Modigliani and Miller. The second proposition, or the second proponent, or the second theory, in addition to the Modigliani, is the Pecking order theory, which assumes that firms follow a hierarchical order in terms of capital structure. The basic assumption is that firms seek to minimize cost of capital. Instead, they pursue additional finance in a preferred order, as I said earlier. The theory argues that an intermediate capital structure of firms is based on the fact that it's in sourcing its finance, it will first restore to retained earnings and then will favor debt usage over equity financing. So these are the theories underpinning the study of capital structure. So we look at some of the empirical studies, which, for example, done in Ghana as well as other countries. For example, Cho itself in Korea examined the impact of so many factors on capital structure. It uses the ordinary least squares technique, and it found that tax shows asset tangibility, firm size, profitability has a positive impact, and tax shows have a negative impact on capital structure, asset tangibility has a positive impact on capital structure. Adir and Adasco in French, using French SMEs, noted that profitability has a negative impact on firm capital structure. Age also has a negative impact on firm capital structure. Growth opportunities has a positive impact on capital structure. And let's come to Ghana. For example, Nyadi itself analyzed the determinants of capital structure in Ghana. They used growth opportunities, size, asset structure, and managerial ownership to examine their impact on capital structure. They found that aside growth opportunities, the size of firms, asset structure, as well as the managerial ownership have a positive impact on capital structure. So these are some of the earlier studies which have been done on capital structure in Ghana or in other countries. So we look at the methodology. The study employed data of listed firms in Ghana over the period 2008 to 2017, which are obtained from the financial statements of the sample bank. And for our variables, our main independent variable is capital structure. That is, which we proceed normally with leverage. So financial leverage is calculated as total debt divided by total assets of the firm. And financial development, which is our main independent variable, we proceed it by domestic credit provided to the private sector as a percentage of GDP. We also have profitability, which is the net income divided by total assets. And we have the sum of, we also have asset structure. We have, let me see, yes, our next independent variable, these ones are control variables. So our main independent variable is financial development, and we have our independent variables, which we, our control variables, which we include profitability, as well as profitability, asset structure, and economic activity. And asset structure is the ratio of fixed assets to total assets. We also measure profitability as net income divided by total assets. And we also have economic activity, which we posit by the annual change in the real GDP. So we look at our model estimation. The studies, since it cuts across frames, we use a panel technique. And to deal with indigeneity, which is inherent in panel analysis, the study employs the generalized method of moments technique to deal with the problem of indigeneity. So based on the generalized moments of technique, our results show that financial sector development, which is PROSIT, which is our main independent variables, PROSIT as credit to the private sector, it has a positive impact on capital structure, meaning that as more firms as more credits are allocated to firms, they are motivated to use debt financing instead of equity financing. So this follows the pegging or the theory, or we can say this it deviates from the pegging. It deviates rather from the pegging or the theory, because the pegging or the theory states that firms uses retained earnings, then they now resort to equity, then debt financing, resort to debt and then equity. So this one, it deviates from the pegging or the theory, meaning that firms rather resort to debt as a first financing cost, given that the financial sector development has a positive impact on firms' capital structure. We realize that profitability has a negative effect on capital structure. This means that as firms grows or more, it means that profitability has a negative effect on firms' decision to employ them. So as profitability reduces, more debts are being employed. So it has an indirect effect on capital structure. So firms' profitability being increased and means that they will resort to more debts. And we also have the asset structure, which is fixed assets to total, the ratio of fixed assets to total assets, which shows a negative relationship with debt structure. So as the firm's fixed assets in relation to total assets increases, firms resort to less debt. We have the economic activity, which is the level, which is measured by GDP growth, which shows a positive effect on capital structure. This shows that as the level of economic activity in the country increases, more firms are resorting to level of debt, because economic activity increases, more finance or more finance will be needed by firms to boost their productivity. And as a result, private credit as well, or debt, as their inclination to debt will also increase. So given these findings, we can conclude that the financial sector development, which is our main independent variable, has a positive effect on the level of capital structure decisions, on the capital structure decisions of firms. So firms resort to more debts as the financial markets increase, as financial development, that is, as more credits are allocated to private sector, their debt usage also rises. So in conclusion, we say financial development has a positive effect on capital structure decisions. And the implication is that more stringent measures should be put in place by policymakers to expand the financial base, or to expand the financial activities of, to expand the financial sector, as to allocate more credit to private, to more productive sectors to enhance economic growth as well as enhance the productivity of firms. Thank you very much. That is all for the presentation.
We thank you, Professor.
Hello.
Açık hocam.
Sorry, but I think we have connection. I have connection problems, internet connection. Okay, I came here. I came again. Mr. Barack Bozama. Mr. Barack Bozama, if you are ready, you can continue. You can present your result. Geliyor mu Ceyler?
Evet.
Cevap geliyor mu?
Yok hocam henüz.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Barack Bozama. If you are ready, you can go on. You can present present your research?
I think my presentation was okay because I didn't receive any comments.
Okay, thank you. We are waiting your research.
I did my presentation now.
Yes, your presentation is now. You can start.
Ibrahim Nandom Yakubu. Okay, I can start.
Presented his research.
I
Time
should
is yours.
Okay, I can present again. Okay. I told you my slides are yet to be prepared. It's not finished, so I can go ahead without the slides.
Okay.
Okay. Earlier, I did the presentation. Maybe because of the connection, you could not hear. Okay. My name is Ibrahim Nandom, and I'm presenting on the topic financial development and capital structure decisions of firms in Ghana. Please, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Professor, sorry, I have an internet connection problem. Therefore, I am communicating with the internet connection of my friend. Therefore, I couldn't hear your voice.
Okay.
I couldn't.
Okay, so I can present again.
Okay, you can start, please. Please, you can start.
Okay, I am presenting on the topic financial development and capital structure decisions of firms in Ghana. Capital structure refers to the composition of firms' capital obtained from different sources of finance, which means retained on us, which means retained on earnings, retained earnings, debt, and equity. And nowadays, the selection of the desirable capital structure is a critical decision for the selection of a desirable capital structure is a critical decision for finance managers and imperative for maximizing shareholders' wealth. It may also influence the market value of firms. Given the recent improvements in the operations of exchanges and financial sector in general, the issue of firms' financing choice has received much attention in the literature. The factors that motivate firm decisions to employ a certain type of finance has been extensively debated in the corporate finance literature. However, identifying the key factors influencing capital structure remains a challenge for firms and even for academic researchers, therefore presenting ample space for more empirical research on the drivers of capital structure. This study aims to examine how the development of financial sector affects firms' capital structure in Ghana. While numerous studies have analyzed capital structure determinants, studies in Ghana are still underexplored, hence the need for more research efforts. In addition to some few empirical studies, for instance, in the Amidou case, 2007, Abo 2008, Nyadi 2017, and Yakubu 2020. This paper will add to these few empirical studies and to the literature and contribute significantly to the literature in several ways. First, the researcher is not aware, that is, I am not aware of any, this study is not aware of any paper examining the effect of financial development on firms' capital structure decisions. Therefore, this study presents a pioneering attempt in this context. And secondly, the second part of this is that apart from firm level factors, the study included the level of economic activity as an additional determinant of leverage, which is virtually ignored in the capital structure studies. And finally, the study employs the generalized method of moments estimation technique to address the issue of indigeneity, which is inherent in panel studies. So we look at our capital, we look at our theoretical literature. We look at our literature review. First of all, we examine the theoretical part of the study. In the capital structure studies, we have the Modigliani and Miller 1958 irrelevance capital structure theory and the Pecking order theory, which are the most significant examined theories in capital structure. According to the Modigliani theory, it assumes that it's a perfect capital market for trading securities and easy access to information by both insiders and outsiders. It also assumes zero taxation and zero bankruptcy costs as well as transaction costs. It also assumes that both individuals and investors can borrow at an equal interest rate. But this theory has a limitation in that it assumes the assumption of zero taxation is not possible, given in this kind of world, it's not possible. And that is unrealistic. So this is the main critique of the theory. And the second theory, as I explained, as I stated, is the Pecking order theory, which has also been examined as an alternative theory to the trade-off theory. The basic assumption of this hypothesis is that firms do not seek to maximize, to minimize cost of capital. Instead, they pursue additional finance in a preferential order. What this means is that the theory argues an intermediate capital structure of firms. What this means is that in sourcing finance, firms will first resort to retained earnings. Then, after retained earnings, they will favor debt usage over equity financing. Firms consider the issue of new equities as a last alternative to the sources of finance they source from different they get from different sources. So we look at the empirical literature. So let's look at the empirical studies. Some of the empirical studies which have been done. For example, Choi 2014 in Korea used the ordinary least squares to examine the effect of capital structure, the effect of different variables on capital structure. They employed tax shield, assets, tangibility, firm size, profitability to examine their impact on capital structure. The study found that tax shields has a negative effect on capital structure. Asset tangibility, firm size, and profitability exerts a positive effect on capital structure. And Adai and Adasco in 2015 used French SMEs to examine the determinants of capital structure using the OLS and the random effects technique. The results shows that profitability negatively affects capital structure. The age of firms also had a negative effect on capital structure. However, their study found that growth opportunities impact positively on capital structure. In the case of Turkey, Toksal and Orman 2015 used the fixed effects technique to examine the effects of the effect of asset tangibility, firm size, profitability, and business risks on capital structure. The study found that asset tangibility, the size of the firm, has a positive effect on capital structure, whereas profitability and risk has a negative effect on capital structure. Now let's zoom to the case of Ghana. Nyadi itself in 2017 examined the effect of growth opportunity size of firms and asset structure on capital structure of firms. They realized that growth opportunities had a negative effect on capital structure, size of the firm, asset structure has a positive effect on the capital structure of firms. So we move to the methodology. The sources, the data, the study employed data of listed firms in Ghana over the period 2008 to 2017, which are obtained from the financial statements of the sample firms. And we examine our dependent variables. We have our main dependent variable. Our dependent variable is capital structure, that is leverage. And our main dependent variable is leverage, financial leverage. And our independent variable, our main independent variable is financial development. And we control for the effect of asset structure. We control for the effect of profitability as well as economic growth on capital structure. So now let's look at how our variables are measured. In terms of our main dependent variable, leverage, it is defined as the total debt divided by total assets. Our main dependent variable, independent variable, which is financial development, is the amount of credit, that is private credit, given the domestic credit given to private sectors. So this is our main independent variable. And as I said, we control for the effect of profitability, which is measured as return or as net income divided by total asset, that is return on assets. We also control for asset structure, which is defined as the ratio of fixed assets to total assets, and the level of economic activity, which is measured by annual change in the level of GDP. So let's look at our empirical technique. As I stated in our objective, to deal with the problem of indigeneity, which is inherent in panel techniques, the study applies the generalized method of movements technique developed by Arlina and Bond. And the main advantage of this technique is that it deals with indigeneity problems, which is inherent in panel techniques. So, and the GMM also is applicable to cases where we have a small sample size and firm, a small sample time period, just like this study, because we examine a period of 2008 to 2017, which is quite less. So the GMM is applicable in our case. So we move further to our results. The main results we obtain from the estimation of the generalized method of movement are that we realize that financial sector development, which is private credit, that is domestic credit to the private sector, which is our main independent variable, has a positive and significant effect on firm decisions to take leverage, that is on capital structure, that in terms of leverage. What this means is that financial development, once as banks increases or as domestic credit to the private sector increases, firm decision to employ debt also increases. So this goes contrary to the preferential order of the Pecking order theory, which states that firms use and retain earnings, then restore to debt instead of then to equity. So our main finding is that financial development in terms of credit, private credit to private credit, domestic credit to private sector has a positive effect on capital structure. And return on asset, which is profitability, negatively and significantly affects firms' decision to take leverage, meaning that as profitability decreases, firms' decision to employ to debt also increases. And asset structure, which is the ratio of fixed assets to total asset, has a negative effect on capital structure. What this means is that as the ratio of fixed assets held by the firms exceeds or is in the firm increases relative to the total assets, they resort to the use, they use less debt. That is it, because it has a negative effect. And the GDP growth, which measures the level of economic activity, has a positive effect on capital structure decisions. So in general, as economic growth increases, firms' decision to resort to leverage also increases. So our conclusion is that financial development, which is our main concern here, has a positive effect on the capital structure decisions of firms, meaning that as domestic credit to the private sector increases, firms' decision to employ debt or to resort or to react to this increment in private credit increases. And the implication is that, the policy implication is that policymakers should ensure that stringent measures are put in place to expand the domestic market, expand the domestic financial system so as to increase the amount of credit being allocated to the private sector, as this increment increases firms' decisions to employ debt, which enhances economic growth as well as firm productivity. Thank you very much for your attention.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please. I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Professor, for your presentation. Now I cannot see the screen because of internet connection problems. But my friends say that Professor Marak Bozami wants to present his research. Mr. Marak, Professor
Yes.
Professor Marak Bozama, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm hearing you. I'm sorry, I had a problem in my microphone. I fixed it now.
Okay. Okay, Mrs. Marak Bozama, you can present your research.
Okay.
Scott, please. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thank you, Professor. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Screen açar mısın?
Okay.
Var mı? Açık mı?
Yes, we can share screen. So.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Dr. Malek Bouhazama. I'm from the National School of Management of Tangier in Morocco. My presentation today will be about the digitalization of administrative correspondence within the Moroccan tax administration, driving change towards an innovative and modern administration. So to introduce our subject, the digital transformation is a necessity for the modern enterprise, whether public or private, due to the strength and the vertiginous speed with which digitalization has entered and has taken over our lives. The digital government panorama changed continually to reflect how the government tries to find innovative digital solution in social, economic, and political areas. Morocco has been the leading African country regarding digitalization of public services for the last several years. This study investigates the following research question: what factors, policies, process, activities, and stakeholders have contributed to achieving the digital transformation in Moroccan public administration, and how the digitalization of correspondence can improve these objectives. So our research method is, so in order to investigate the research question, this study conducts a case study by focusing on this digitalization of the Moroccan administration. Especially, we tried to focus on the correspondence in the Moroccan tax administration, because in the public administration, the field or the component of the correspondence is very important, and by correspondence we make major decision at high level. So case study is a useful method for this investigating complex real-life phenomena based on rich data. So the chosen case is an ideal setting to collect the necessary data to investigate the factors such as policies and actors that have contributed to achieving the digital transformation in Moroccan public administration, in particularly explanatory outcome process, which is used to investigate such factors process tracing to study the causal mechanism in a single case research design. The Moroccan public administration case. So according to the Minister of Industry, the Moroccan Minister of Industry, Trade and Green and Digital Economy, Mulahfid Al-Alami, the digitalization of the economy would create more jobs and is it a source of investment opportunities that must be capitalized, yes, on. As you can see in the figure, according to the indicator of internet user in the Northern Africa, 56% of people are using the internet. Which proves that we are ready for the digitalization, and that we are ready to implement it in the African. Morocco's National Center for the Scientific and Technical Research, which is the most recognized center in Morocco in researches in all fields, released reports of its recent finding. So the study, titled Scientific Production Relative to Digital Transformation, which is indexed in Scopus, was it held in the 5 last year, and that concluded that Morocco's digital transformation is performing well relative to its regional partners. So Morocco ranks second in Africa behind South Africa and third in the Arab-speaking world behind the Emirates and Saudi Arabia. Morocco managed to integrate digital technology into its economy at a fast pace over the 5-year span. Research in this study, with particular advanced in the field of engineering, telecommunication, and business. Many schools, many high schools were constructed to enhance this development and to try to participate in the academic field in this digital development, especially in the University of Polytechnic of Mohammed VI, which is leading university in these files. So Morocco's digital transformation efforts involve several international partners, including Canada, Denmark, France, and Spain. In recent years, especially after Morocco's Ministry of Industry, Investment, Trade, and Digital Economy, they created in 2017 the Agency for Digital Development, which is dedicated especially to the e-government and all the politic and strategy, national strategy of digitalization. So the new technology and the ITs. So the digitalization sector has boomed, and governmental institutions and several major companies launched a digital transformation process to meet their customers' needs. So as you can see in these statistics, according to the key indicator of this digital adoption, which is the annual digital growth, 1.2%, we have an increasement of using the digitalization or of the digital adoption in Morocco, which is very encouraging, especially in the area of the COVID-19 and all the changes that we are living right now in all over the world. So also the use of internet in a population of the Moroccan population, it has reached to 37.13 million people. 63.8% uses the internet and all the IT technology. So for the second level of this point, we were going to see the action of formation and transformation mechanism strategy, the stakeholders and the budget. We're going to specify and talk especially about the strategy of the e-government. So the Moroccan government is working on this file in the 2 last decades from the 2000s. So a government, and we call For those who don't know what is the e-government, we call it, we mean by the e-government, a government information system that heavily relies on the new information technology and that aims to enhance the access and the delivery of government services to citizens, business partners, and employees. In Morocco, there exist several government portals, so the finance ministry, for all the ministries, the services that allows employees and citizens to get informed about a specific ministry, mission, or administrative structure and point of contact. Many of these portals allow also downloading data and forms by informing and delivering services. First of all, these portals were working on just informing, but now they are proposing services to employees and to all the Moroccan citizens. For example, they can have all the administrative papers by asking them on the internet. They can have their taxes. They can subscribe in many services just by clicking on the internet and just by those portals. So many efforts were done by the government to implement, not just to make some slogans and just to make some propaganda, no, to implement a real strategy of digitalization, which we call Maroc numeric Morocco. So the actions to ensure the transformation of the country into an information society, Morocco has taken important initiative to achieve this goal. The projects undertaken form part of the National Strategy for Information Society and Digital Economy, which we call Maroc Numeric 2013, which aims to integrate information technologies into all the actors of Moroccan society. Here we're talking about all the stakeholders. So the governments have to take seriously all the stakeholders and to sensibilize them about the importance of this strategy, and that we have all to contribute, and it is our responsibility as, first of all, as citizens, and then as an academician, as a professor, or as an employee to participate at this strategy to make it succeed. So we're talking about the government, public administrations, companies, and citizens. The public authority promotes the use of the IT in the public sector to enhance the well-being of citizens in terms of simplifying procedures, speeding up the delays, achieving an equal opportunity, etc. Concerning citizens, the global vision of the strategy aims, on the one hand, to create online public services, which is the case for citizens through e-government projects, and on the other hand, to encourage the integration of information technologies in citizens' lives and to accelerate also the process of democratization of internet access at homes. So, digitalization of administrative correspondence within the Moroccan tax administration. Here we're going to talk about the case study of Irsalia. What is Irsalia? Irsalia is the portal that was baptized in the Ministry of Economy and Finance, especially in the tax administration, to permit to all the employees to correspond or to send correspondence without using the paper, just by using the internet. So Irsalia was implemented in 2019, and before implementing it, the employees have pursued trainings, many trainings, and many campaigns of sensibilization were have done to make the use of this portal easier and to try to lead the change in the administration, especially for people who don't have level of the level of academician level to use it. So after the implementation of the public Irsalia, where administrators can send and receive correspondence in the Ministry of Finance and the Economy, we noticed a significant transformation of the traditional administrative structures, which took much time because people have to travel to send a correspondence all over the Moroccan country. So, and we saved also money by including more employees because there is the person who have to take the correspondence and to give it to the regional administration and then to the central administration. So we have an hierarchy. So and who can travel many kilometers to transfer a message. As we can see in this figure, which shows how the Irsalia works, it works by internet and touch screen, and we can communicate with the central authority, and the central authority can communicate with all the department, the Moroccan departmental ministries, which also protect the confidentiality of the documents, which can have a high level of confidentiality. So also we have to precise that the user machine interaction is multilingual, intuitive, and easy to use. The application were very easy to use. So, and if you want to have the statistics of this using and the study, we will have an article. We work on this article, which will be published. If you want more information about how the statistics about the implementation of this application, you can contact me on my email. But this application is very useful and provide numerous opportunities for employees of administrative to enhance various aspects of their well-being. However, we have to insist on a point which is very important, is that it has many correspondence risks. So the government has the responsibility to balance the opportunity of the digital transformation with the corresponding risk, and implement policies and regulatory frameworks that are inclusive and provide net benefits to the citizens. So thank you for your attention, and here is the reference which I worked on. Thanks for your attention, Professor.
We thank you, Professor. Thank you very much for your beautiful and beneficial research. Of course, digitalization increases and today, due to the COVID pandemic research, COVID pandemic process, and also, of course, and other factors. Thank you very much. Is there any presenter today?
You're welcome.
Is there any other? So Thank you all. Opportunity to who cannot have, who cannot. Dear participants, thank you very much for your attention.
Our session is ended today. But we will give opportunity. We will give opportunity to presenters who cannot present their research due to COVID or health problems, internet connection problems, etc. In next days, they will have opportunity to present their research in our congress. Thank you very much. Hope to see you in our next congresses. Again, thank you.